Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. I am your host, Scott Lewis, here with my esteemed panel, crew people, co-hosts, man. We got the one and only JR Bang in the building. We got Dante in the house. You can follow them at October Dante and at JR Bang on all social media platforms, man. Of course, you can subscribe to everything we got. Our Patreon, my YouTube channel, all that good stuff is in the description box right now. So go down there, scroll, click on one of those links. I appreciate everybody who has been supporting. Yeah, man, we got a good show for y'all on deck today. All Bears out per usual. Bears getting ready for their second round game. Their first second round game in 15 years. Okay, I was in my early 20s last time the Bears won the Divisional Playoff game. So it's been a while. So we're going to prepare you for that. We got the homie Herb Howard from the Bigs Media joining us in just a minute. But, Bang, Dante, how we feeling?
I feel good, bro. I mean, it's been a lot of silly talk, and I know you're about to get into that in a second. But, I mean, I'm feeling good. I can't complain at all.
Feeling feisty.
I am, too.
Like, I'm feeling like I don't mind slapping a Rams fan today. But how many Rams fans really are
all five of them?
Right, yeah. You know, a lot of this back and forth with McVay trying to take up for his homie and stuff. Yeah. Just make me want to be Benny Siegel in the club that day that Hove couldn't save him save.
Oh, that's a throwback.
MTV. Yeah.
That's a throwback.
I feel like
bro.
Benny Siegel in the club on MTV.
This man, for those of you people out there, all y'all younger kids who just remember Jay with the dread wig, and I swear I still think it's a dread wig. Can't nobody really convince me otherwise. But Jay hopped into a club area to go save Benny Siegel from beating a nigga up. That's what happened in that one, man. So yeah, man, I'm feeling feisty too because I shout out to the homie Mikey. We all know Mikey. Former co-host of the show. Now he is our inside content director. He sends me all the stuff we need to talk about on the show. So shout out to Mikey. I was stuck on the Packers for about 2 days. And he was like, come on, we got focus, go to the next game. And I was just like, bro, it's hard for me to have any energy for that because there was so much energy spent on this game. But now I'm ready. So I just want to say, Bang, I apologize in advance for this rant. I know we're trying to clean this show up. I know a lot of people who told Dante they got kids who watch this show. It's time to put the kids to sleep, okay? Or put them away for another 5 minutes. I got some stuff to say, okay? There's a couple things this week that have been getting on my last nerves. There's a couple things. First of all, this has nothing to do with the Bears, but 2016 was 10 years ago. Please stop posting pictures and videos from what you were doing a decade ago. I don't even know what was so great about 2016. Trump became president. LeBron came back from 3-1, and the Cubs won a World Series. That don't sound like a good year to me. Okay, so let's keep that in the past. Number one. Number two. I knew the Green Bay Packer fans were soft, but I didn't know how soft until this week. I mean, the reaction has been ridiculous. They have been crying. They have been saying, oh, the Rams are going to do this for us. The Rams-Packer alliance, what they've been talking about. First of all, there's only like 5 Rams fans in Los Angeles, and I know this because I live there, okay? There are 2 fan bases that are bigger in Los Angeles, actually 3, that are bigger than the Rams. That is the Dallas Cowboys, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders and the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams are like number 3 on the NBA total, on the NFL total poll out there. I need y'all to give it up, bro. And I think right now what I can see is there's fear. There's fear in your heart right now because you know this isn't just a one-off. Now, we all know the NFL stands for not for long. We don't know what's going to happen next season. The Bears might not have the same injury luck on offense that they had this year. And I know I'm going to say that with luck with air quotes because they dealt with a lot of injuries as well. But the crying has been ridiculous, bro. You know that Caleb Williams isn't Rex Grossman. You know that he's not Jay Cutler. You know he's not Mitchell Trubisky. As much as I love my man, he's not Justin Fields. I love Justin, but it is what it is. This guy is a problem, okay? And the fact that everybody is crying about some sportsmanship with Ben Johnson not shaking hands right and Ben Johnson saying F the Packers, that is exactly what you want to see in sports. I think we forget because this rivalry has been dormant for really my entire life. I don't remember a time where the Bears used to just take advantage of the Green Bay Packers. Ever. Like we had that little maybe 2 or 3 year span when we were winning some games against an older Brett Favre when Lovey first came. But it wasn't a situation like this. We had a young quarterback and he's out there doing the thing. We had a great defense. And you're dealing with an elderly Brett Favre. That was a different situation. So to my knowledge, last time the Bears actually would dominate the Packers was the 1980s. I was born in 1988, so I don't remember nothing about the 80s. I can't relate to that. And you got these Packer fans who are trying to say, oh, Ben Johnson, you know, he's too focused on the negative. This is y'all Super Bowl, and I can't believe he's that obsessed with us. And this is coming from other people, too. You had Christian Watson daddy going on Twitter and saying, oh, now you got to beat him for real. You should have did that last week. The season was on the line. What do you need motivation now? Your season was on the line last week, and you didn't do anything, okay? Ben Johnson came up in here 12 months ago this month and said, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. You know what he did? He beat him twice a year. Out of the last 4 games, the Bears have beat the Packers 3. So this isn't about our Super Bowl and anything like that. It's the fact that y'all got twice, and we're going to be here for a little bit. That's the problem right there. So Packer fans, I know you live in a crap state of Wisconsin, and you got to deal with living out there. Trust me, I know that's a problem. You don't need to be coming over here and trying to say that we're the ones who are out of line. It was all fun and games when Aaron Rodgers was saying he owned us. As much as I hated it, fair play. I was there that day. I hated it because it was true. Y'all got to understand that this is a new era with this. Now, we got to go on to the NBA, as I like to call it, the Nepo Baby Association with Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean McVay. Now, I'm a big Sean McVay fan. I actually like Sean McVay. He's like a cool dude. I ain't never met him, but he's like a cool dude. But now insinuating that, oh, well, Matt is a good friend of mine and da-da-da-da-da. He can get smacked up too, man. That's just pretty much where I'm at with it. And it feels like slowly but surely, Ben Johnson is changing the culture here to where it feels like the Bears becoming villains. And I like it. I absolutely love it, actually, of where this is potentially go. And I feel like for the first time, nobody wants to see the Bears win on Sunday. I feel like it was more of a, oh, we were a cool story, and they're finding ways to win. But I feel like it's starting to turn a little bit because Ben Johnson said what he said last week and then stood on business 24 hours later and said, yeah, I meant what I said and stood on it. So Green Bay Packer fans, I'm going to need you to get ready for being number 2 because it's going to be that way for a little bit as well. But see, that I can kind of accept from Green Bay Packers fans because of y'all past. Detroit Lions fans, shut up when grown folks are talking. You go sit over there in the Minnesota Vikings table, okay? I've never been to a Super Bowl table, okay? The Bears are already halfway to your most successful season 2 years ago. Shut your mouth. Okay, you still got Jared Goff. There is a chance that this year we could be walking into a situation where Caleb Williams is maybe top 3 best quarterback in the NFC, maybe top 2, because I think Stafford's probably going to retire this year. It sounded like he wasn't going to play that much this year too. So my whole thing is, it's just been enough talking this week, enough talking from all the fan bases. Packer fans need to go and think about, are they even going to bring Matt LaFleur back to begin with? Everybody said a couple days ago it was a done deal. Now we're hearing from Tom Pelissero that Matt LaFleur wants some, safety. He wants a lot of years. The Packers don't want to give him a lot of years. So you need to focus on that instead of running your mouth about what's going on. People doing videos on the difference between Packer fans and Bear fans. Yeah, the difference is we play on Sunday. And I don't know what else to do in Wisconsin. Maybe you can go watch Giannis while he's there for the next month before he becomes a New York Knick. I don't know what you're going to do. But dead all that talk, man. And that's all I got to say about that. See, I cleaned that up. I was going to go worse.
You did. You did not go as hard that I thought you was going to go. Pause.
I cleaned it up. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. But anyway, let's get into the business, man. I want to bring in one of the friends of the program, man, one of the fellow guys with me on this Bears beat. As I like to say, there's I think it's maybe 4 or 5 black people on this beat. So Herb is one of these guys. I want to bring it up, my guy, Herb Howard of the Bigs Media. Herb, how you doing, my boy?
What it do, family? What's the word?
I am feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. This is a big week this week. It's the big week this weekend. I just want to get your take. I know we've been talking about this game for the last couple of days. Every outlet in the city has been talking about it. But I remember one of the last times you were on here, you was like, man, I'm not picking the Bears against the Packers until we actually start beating the Packers. And they beat them the last couple of weeks. Now, me and you were both in that press box on Saturday. And I still don't know how they won that game. I rewatched it the other night. And I was like, how did they win that game? It was like 5 minutes left. And they were down like 2 scores. What has just been your vibe from Saturday and seeing how this week has been going and just how the tide has kind of changed a little bit?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. A little bit of a changing of the guard, so to speak. You've long since for the past 30 years have had situations where the Bears feel like no matter what's going on in the Packers game, they're going to come back. That thing is going to happen. They're going to rip it from us. And now you saw on Saturday night, the Packers had that feeling. You could tell they got tighter and tighter the closer the Bears got in terms of, play calling, in terms of their body language, the kicking game, all of it. We just kind of see them having that feeling like, oh, man, the same way they stole it from us in game 2, they finna steal it from us again. They damn near stole game 1 from them the same way. So I think the Packers are not a team that has that not again feeling in this series. And I think it's just a changing of the guard, man. You look at it, and like you said, the Bears won 3 out of the last 4 against the Packers in this rivalry. The rivalry is certainly back on. It had been off for a long time. I wasn't calling it such, and I wasn't picking the Bears to win until they actually, got it done. And so they got it done at the end of last season on Cairo's game-winning kick, and then two great games in the regular season this year, and then it came down to a playoff game, only the 3rd time in the history of this series. And at Soldier Field, I never felt the stadium like that, never heard it like that. It was absolutely insane. But that's been the vibe across the whole city. Everybody I talked to, no matter where they watched the game, at the crib, at a bar, wherever, everybody had the same sentiment about what was going on watching that game.
Yeah, and we were saying this week too that I feel like if you're not a Bears fan or at least somebody who don't live in Chicago, I don't think you'll understand the impact of this game. Now we got to see what happens the next 5 years. We don't know. Maybe hopefully it just don't flame out like Detroit Lions or something like that. And NFL window's very short. We can, and next year's gonna be a lot of expectation. Like ask Bills and Ravens fans if they're having fun. I don't think they are. Okay, like windows close very, very quickly. So maybe in 5 years, we're looking at this like, oh, that was a start or something. Or maybe we're looking at, oh, that was a cool moment. I'm hoping it's the first one. And if they do, I think it's going to be a game where a lot of people are going to be lying like, oh, I was there. In like 10, 15 years from now, can't nobody really verify if they was there now. But that was just a crazy atmosphere. But the fallout to me has been a little weird. Like, I feel like it took a couple days before we really started to talk about the Rams. And I really think that really didn't start till yesterday. Like, I feel like a lot of Packer stuff got out of the media cycle a little bit yesterday because they still kind of tying it in today with McVay. But it feels like Ben Johnson has really ruffled some feathers. You know, you had people like Stephen A. Smith going up there saying, "Oh, out here in circles, they're not liking that." Peter Schrager said today on Bill Simmons' pod that the McVay tree didn't like it. You know, I saw Scott Van Pelt was like, "Well, you know, I kind of feel like he could have not said this." What's just been your opinion on everything involving Ben Johnson and him really taking this? I don't care about none of y'all outside of the Bears type vibe.
This Chicago nigga, like it feel that way. Like he bringing it, he carrying it that way. He's carried it that way since day one. His introductory press conference was that way. He approached that podium with nothing but unadulterated confidence, like and he put it out there. And I remember, you know how we do them breakout sessions after the introductory press conference where we have the more
Yeah.
intimate conversations that's a little bit less formal. I remember asking him in that breakout session, like, yo, where did that confidence come from that you just displayed out there in your press conference? And he was like, man, Herb, look, when I was the tight ends coach, I was the best tight end coach in the league. He said, when I was the offensive coordinator, I coordinated the best offense in the league. He said, this ain't gonna be no different. I was like, well, excuse me. I love it. Like I love it, man. He carried a certain way, and I really appreciate it, man. You know, we from the crib, like that's how we carry it anyway. I said what I said. Like I ain't coming off of it. I'm standing on business. Do something. Like it is what it is. And so, you know, everybody saw him say after the Packers in the locker room. So y'all asked him about it the next day, like he was gonna be like, "Oh no, I just got caught up in the moment. It was emotional. It was yada." I said what I said. F dude, F them. Period. All of them. And now so you got Sean McVay, like, oh, that's my friend and his brother's on my staff, boy. So, and what? What that mean? Like, what that
Exactly.
mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you go back to like school days and all that. You treat somebody and then somebody else comes to you, hey, like that's my homie. Like, so,
And you
like,
want to get it
what that
too?
mean? Like, what you said that to say what? That's your
Yeah.
friend. So, I love it, man. I love it. Keep standing on business, man.
And I think honestly, that's the best. This is the best city for that attitude. That's just how we are as people here. And you know, I'm really. That's why I was really happy on Monday. He didn't say, "Well, you know, I was caught up in the moment. That's a big win." He's like, "No, I don't like him." Like,
You know what? One of my favorite all-time clips from NFL Mic'd Up is Shannon Sharp with the Ravens. And I can't remember exactly what Coach Billick, Brian Billick had said something in the paper about whoever was playing the Titans or so he said something. They were soft or something. And there was this whole big old story and this whole big old thing about what he said and this, that, and the third coming into the game. And Shannon Sharp came out on the field and he was mic'd up. They had the cameras in his face, and he walked out. He like, yeah, we said it. Whatever they say, we
yeah,
said, we
we
said
said
it.
it.
Like whatever, man. Like you still got to come out here and play. It's just like the Packers was
Yeah,
talking last week. Oh, we took that hit personal from Book to Jordan Love. So like you took it personal, and then what? Like what does that even mean? I was talking to Grady Jarrett about that in the locker room yesterday because he came out, you know, before the game when they was asking him. He was like. So, like, what do that mean that you take it personal? You're gonna play harder. It's a playoff game. Like, you gonna hit me? You gonna hit me hard? Like, I don't even understand why you even said you. Okay, you took it personal. Do something.
yeah. And the words of Jesus, if you don't like it, do something, nigga. That's pretty
Yeah,
much
man.
what I feel like the vibe of this Bears team is. And what I liked last week was there wasn't really a lot of talking from the Bears. Like, you know, I did like how Austin Booker was like, well, you know, if he had a problem with it, he could have did something at the same time. But after the game, you could really see, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say exactly what was said in the locker room, but we was in the locker room and there was a lot of players and they're like, oh yeah, now what? Pretty much to sum it all up, you know,
Yeah.
of what the aggression was. And one thing I gotta give Ben credit for is changing the mentality of this team. Bang, what's your thoughts on the fallout? And do you think like this is something that we could see next season, or even maybe start the Sunday when people are starting to, oh, I don't like the Bears. I want them to lose because of what the coach is saying.
Hey, man, first of all, this is why I say we need to hear some Chicago in that. I don't want to hear we ready. I want to hear something like adrenaline rush. I want to hear something that put the fear of God.
Gang in the.
Yeah, like Finito. I want to hear something that put the fear of God. Cause just real quick on the LaFleur McVay thing. So you mean to tell me that the Rams players are going to play hard for McVay because Green Bay lost. Man, get the hell up out of here, fam. Like, at the end of the day, players play, coaches coach. What are they gonna do? Oh man, we gotta get them for Green Bay. And my man's like, nah, fam, we don't like them either. Like, we don't like them either. The fallout was as expected. Because I expected some people to be mad at how Ben reacted. I expected some people to say, yo, he's classless because he said F the Packers. And you know what? I'm so glad that I heard more people say, oh, so what? Than I heard, oh, he's classless. Because at the end of the day, this is football. If I don't care when and where you play football. I don't care if you played on your block. I don't care if you played in high school. I don't care if you played in college or the NFL. Football has always been man against man. Let's see what's up. My first memories of football is block against block. And do you think that this block wanted to lose to that block and then have to go past and see them? Like, this has always been the case. So people got to stop tweaking on that. On the flip side of it, it puts the target on the back. And from what I've seen, I'm not in those locker rooms. I see what I see, and I hear you guys, and I listen to what you guys say. I feel confident that this is a team that wants the target on their back. This is a team that's probably a lot of those players who've been there or who have seen the Bears from afar have seen the Bears be the laughingstock of the NFL. 2 years ago, they was the worst organization in the NFL. People have been talking shit about this team for I don't know how long. That's why in that rant that you heard me go, that's why I was going so hard. Because I'm like, man, I don't think y'all really understand what we've had to hear.
Yeah.
When it comes to Green Bay versus the Bears, and we finally smacked y'all ass, and we gonna keep smacking you, and we gonna keep smacking you, and like Book hit him again, and what y'all do? He hit him again. Y'all did nothing. So just like Common did Ice Cube, we see the bitch in you. Now we see the bitch in the Green Bay Packers, and let's see if we see the bitch in the rest of the NFL.
And that's the thing too, where I think that Matt Forte, real calm, cool, collected, man of God. You know, he said on K Adams, he was like, I think the Packers think this is the pass. He's like, they gonna find out. They gonna find Leroy Butler. What's his face? The one who with the ponytail. I can't stand him. Clay Matthews, who had to wear the cheese grater hat. Which I have framed. I'm gonna have framed because I can't stand the ground Clay Matthews walk on. And all of them think this is just the old Bears. And it's less to do with the old Bears and more to do with y'all was beating up scrub quarterbacks. Like, it's not like this thing where the Bears even had a respectable quarterback that they were beating up on. And so now that there's a little fight and you got a quarterback who I don't think Caleb is where he's gonna be. I think it's the worst he's gonna be right now. And they see that's gonna be a problem. That's what I love about it. Dante, what should they take on this before we move on?
I mean, I think, bro, it's been pretty pathetic. I don't know about villains, but I think it's corny. I think it's more so, Ben Johnson versus the Nepo babies and all of the guys with all the connections and all of that. And so it's a situation where if you're the Bears, like you said, we've said it from jump. And, I think as locals, we pay more attention than the national media, but we've talked about how Ben Johnson has been here to change the narrative around this entire team. And that comes with reigniting the rivalry, actually making it a rivalry. For years, we sat here and said, it's not really a rivalry. They just kick our ass a couple times a year and, we get riled up about it. But now it actually feels like a rivalry. Even the losses have been, last possession, we got the rock. So, I mean, it's a situation where the tide has really turned and is continuing to turn. And I think his first name escapes me, but Jones, buddy who's on the podcast with Shady and Acho, he said it. He was like, this is the worst you're going to see Caleb.
Oh, you talking about Jermaine Jones?
Yeah. He's a former Packer. And he said, this is the worst you're going to see them. And you got to acknowledge that. So I think, like I said, for everything you said at the beginning, I was out for a minute, but all of the shit about, LaFleur and his brother being on the staff of McVay and all of that. It's been corny, bro. It's like you said, Bang. This is This is football, bro. It's supposed to be a rivalry. It's okay to go back and forth. If George McCaskey, a guy who didn't want people cursing on Hard Knocks, don't care about Ben Johnson
Right.
cursing in the locker room, I don't think this is a non-starter, bro. I think it's been pretty funny and just like I said when I tweeted about it, it was just corny, bro. Like especially when they shaped like when NFL Network today when they talked about it, he was like, the McVay camp is not happy about this. And it's like, so what? Like
it's like screw the McVay camp. Like
they were giggling when they said it, and I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? So like, are we supposed to be afraid of this?
So the McVay camp is Kevin O'Connell. He got beat.
Kyle Shanahan.
He got beat. Kyle Shanahan probably should have got beat, but
probably
I want to
see him again. Yeah.
LaFleur's little brother, who's the offensive
coordinator.
Okay, let me get an old wrestling reference. Was it Sting versus the Four Horsemen? Sting won that.
Now I know where this came from. I know where the beef came from, but I can't reveal my sources on the show. So I will put that in group chat. But let's just say this has been steaming back since the owners' meetings. That's just where I'm gonna leave it at that without getting messy. But there's a little bit of a trail here to where he has really riled them people up. But it's like, oh, I'm gonna get my brother on you. Like, I don't care. Like I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying?
So Leonard Floyd, you got to play a little bit harder because they let you go.
It's just corny, bro.
Yeah, it's whatever, man. And I do love the energy from George. I don't know if y'all saw that video that went viral, but he's taking them pictures with the fans, and that Packer fan tried to get in the picture. He's like, man, get your ass up out of here. Like I like that too, man. It just kind of feels like the whole organization is on one accord. We all know that video would have not seen a day of light if George didn't want that out there. Like
I think George kicked it off. From jump, he hate the Packers more than anybody.
Anybody.
Every time they've had a new coach introduced or a new big signee introduced, like he always put that battery in their back to go out there and say something about the Packers in their introductory press conference. They put the battery in Ben back, and Ben was just the right one. Like, oh, that's what we own. That's what we own. Like, and it's just. It is what it is. I remember Larry Mayer, the Bears writer, told me a story about George hating the Packers, and he was like, "Man, this was a long time ago. I think Larry been working for the Bears like 40 years or something.
A long time."
He said they was getting on a plane to go play somebody. It wasn't the Packers, but they was going to get on a plane to go play somebody. And Larry got on the plane with a green suit on, and George like, "Hey, where you think you going?" Not on this plane, you ain't wearing no green suit. Like, and was dead ass with him too. I'm like, dang, yeah. So he hate them more than anybody, and I think he the one who gassed Ben in the first place, and Ben just been rolling with it ever since.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it, man. But let's kind of move forward, man. I want to talk about heading into this game, what this game week has been like, and this goes back to another conversation I had with the homie Mikey, and I was like, he was thinking that he feels like Bears fans are content. Like we've seen a lot of conversation, Bears fans saying stuff like, "Oh, I love how the season's been. If it stays this way, it stays this way. We've already accomplished what we wanted to accomplish," which is fair. But I also look at it like this: you're very close. Now, do I think that the Bears have the defense and the offensive consistency to win the Super Bowl? No, I do not, because I have eyes. But nothing about this season has made sense. Like nothing about the Bears season has made sense. Nothing about this NFL season in general has made sense. I have doubted this team every week. Every week they have proven me wrong. Last week, I was done in the first quarter. I was like, they always do this shit to me. I'm going on. I'm like, every year.
To me.
They did to me. I was like, they saved their worst performance for last. And even when they came back, I told my brother, I was like, I hate them. Why are they like just die? Like, why you keep? I thought they were gonna do the fake comeback they did against Detroit. So at this point, and all bets are off. I don't know. They might be able to. So I say, when you have an opportunity this close, go for it. Go for it. You don't know what next year is gonna be like. And I feel like the Bears are in a good position to be back here next year, but you really never know. There's one team who were in the final four of the NFC last year, who is still here this year. That's the Rams. The other three teams aren't. So you never really know. But I kind of get the feel where Bears fans are like they're treating this game like, oh, if we win, we win. But if we don't, oh, this is an amazing year anyway. Herb, what has been the sense you've been getting from Bears fans? What's your personal opinion on it? And do you think that Bears fans are content no matter what happens on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I think two things can be true. I certainly get the vibe from Bears fans that after they beat the Packers in the playoffs, like whatever after that is cool or not cool. Like they can win, they cannot. I don't think nobody, if they lose on Sunday night, is gonna be like devastated and feel like it was a lost season. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody gonna feel like that, including me. That being said, man, you got an opportunity to go do it. Go do it. You one of the last 8 teams standing. I never subscribed to even late in the season you start to hear people talking about they playing with house money and they're a year early anyway and whatever about house money, man. You got a chance to go win it.
Yeah.
Win it. You one of the last 8 teams standing. Go get it done. Why not? Ain't no super team out here. It ain't no team like the Eagles was last year or the Chiefs were for the 6, 7, 8 years before that, or the Patriots was for the 20 years before that. Like, there's no super team out here right now. It's open for any of these 8 teams that want to put their best 3 games on tape. Go put your best 3 on tape and bring a Lombardi back.
Yeah, and I think the Mahomes part is a good part of it because I know people want to act like he did, but I'm not saying all of that. We still got to get to part 2, like Brady, when he leave his family and he really lock in like that. That's what I fear is coming next. When he's like, you know what, I've had enough of Brittany and the kids. I'm gonna lock in into getting more champions. Brady had to sacrifice his family to get 7 rings, bro. We all know that's what happened. That's why you see him outside now. But that's what I'm like. When you have a great player like a Patrick Mahomes, do it now. Give me my Hakeem Olajuwon ring, okay? When Jordan was gone for 2 years, I will take a Hakeem Olajuwon Super Bowl. I will take that 100%. So the good thing I do have, no matter what the fans feel, that's what Ben is telling them. Ben said when the playoffs started, hey, we trying to play for 5 weeks. We trying to play 5 weeks. I don't know what y'all talking about. I said first press conference, we trying to win now. Y'all thought I was joking. Bang, what's your thoughts on, do you feel like there's been a vibe for this game this week?
I agree. It feels like folks are like, look, we beat Green Bay in this situation. This was a great season. We didn't expect to get all of this, but that Green Bay game, if we didn't go nowhere, we're good. But just because we feel that way, that don't mean we don't want to go to the NFC Championship game. That don't mean we don't want to go to the Super Bowl. I think at this point, fans are playing with house money. I think this is one of those games, God forbid they lose, we stay at the end of the game and we get them a standing ovation. Man, this was a great season. Thank y'all for the memories, all of that stuff. But I also believe that the chirping from Sean McVay and the national media around this team has slightly turned the corner from being complacent to, man, we'll beat y'all ass. Like we good, but now y'all talking like let's go do this. So that's what I see from the fan perspective, and I expect all of the fans to be out in full force. Because I mean, for people that might be too young to know, like it's history with the Bears and Rams when it comes to this. If you go, like I had told y'all in the chat a couple of weeks ago, I had showed my wife the clips from the NFC Championship game from 1986, 40 years ago. She turned 40, right? So it was like, look, this is what happened. And this is one of my favorite NFL Films moments because they slowed that joint down when Richard
the Wilbur Marshall fumble
Richard Dick gets the sack. Wilbur Marshall picks it up. The snow starts coming. You see the fridge and Richard Dent start running with them, and the crowd goes wild because they know that at that point we're going to the Super Bowl. So that is a all-time memory, not Chicago. That is an all-time NFL memory because now anytime the snow comes down in these moments, you're referencing that. So knowing that it's going to be cold, knowing that there's a possibility of a little snow, knowing the history of Matt Stafford in 30 below games, knowing the history of Matt Stafford with Detroit versus Chicago, I also feel like there is a bit of confidence coming from Bears fans. I had DC fans tell me, "Oh man, y'all about to get y'all ass beat by the
Oh, don't even
MVP
get me
Matt
started
Stafford."
on DC
Oh
fans,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Please
But
leave
I've
us alone with your quarterback who dating his cousin, man. Please leave
right,
us alone,
yeah.
bro. Go over there, bro.
Yeah, but
Enough.
I've gotten them folks like, yo, you about to lose to the MVP. It's like, y'all know the MVP sucks when it's cold here. And he's coming off of a finger injury. If that boy get tapped, he's sitting his ass down.
What
Homie
what
from
have I been
Georgia playing.
calling him for 16 years?
Pat Stafford.
Stat Stat Padford. You cannot change my opinion on Matthew Stafford because Joe Burrow's defense gave it up at the last minute in the Super Bowl. He is the same man. You cannot fool me. And
So
everybody keep referencing last year's Eagles game. They lost.
Right, they lost.
That's the funniest thing.
They lost. So I think it's also just a air of confidence that we ain't got to say nothing. Because the outside media, y'all must not been paying attention when Matt Stafford was coming up here laying eggs in the cold. Y'all was not paying attention to none of that stuff. And God forbid anything happens to this man. But he's a hit away. He's literally a hit away. In that cold, y'all talking about Devontae Adams, hamstrings in the cold, fam. That don't work either. The one person that I'm scared of, however, is Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
That person.
See, Puka gonna get his. That's not even. I'm not even thinking about stopping Puka. He gonna get his. The plays he didn't make last week was the ones he dropped. Okay,
right?
Like,
yeah. He's gonna mess around and have a 200-yard day, win or lose. He's literally the only person on this team that I am scared of. That defensive backfield is weak as hell. You do got Jared Verse over there. My pick to win Rookie of the Year last year, he did. So
Matt Stafford has 16 touchdowns and 15 interceptions in his 12 career games against the Chicago Bears. Just want to throw that fun fact out there. There was a lot of back and forth between. I don't ever remember the Lions dominating the Bears. Like, I feel like there was a lot of split series when they had Megatron because we had bad teams, they had bad teams. So I don't know what the
Lions ain't dominated us since they had Barry Sanders. That's the last time they dominated us when they had Barry Sanders.
Well, they dominated the last couple years. They dominated the last couple years. That's number one. That's the number one on my get back list for next year. Beat them.
What did I say? What did I say? Nobody cared about the Detroit Lions, but the
Detroit Lions, which is actually very true. But I want to say, like, when we talk about the keys to a Bears win, because we just talking football now with this, I think that we've been asking for this for weeks, but especially in this game, like, all jokes aside about the Rams, you're going to have to score some points. Now, I don't think you're going to have to score as many as possible compared to the last couple weeks because of what the elements are going to be like, but you're going to need, in my opinion, at least 27 to beat this team. Oh, yeah. Herb, what are your keys to a Bears win on Sunday?
Yeah, I think offensively the Bears should have a significant advantage, especially in the passing game. I think that back end of the Rams, you can get money on them dudes. I love what they got up front. I think Jerry Verse can wreck your absolute day if you let him. If you don't have a good game plan for him, he can wreck your day. Brian Young got 12 sacks. Like I like what they got going on up front, but I still think that the Bears have a decided advantage in terms of their offense versus the Rams defense. I think the game is going to come down to the other side of the ball, and can the Bears defense find a way to get just a couple of stops? It's a high-powered offense. We know what this Bears defense is. They're going to give up yards between the 20s. They try to play stingy red zone defense and take the ball away. If they can do those things, I think that'll give them, 2 or 3 possessions to where they get an advantage over the Rams. And I think that's ultimately what this game will come down to. I also think that, and this is, you got to try to put nuance on things, even though people don't understand nuance or anything at all in this world no more.
Exactly. Not no more.
This is no disrespect to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Both of them are absolutely phenomenal players, 2 of the best receivers in the league. But I think styles make fights. And stylistically, I think the Bears corners are better suited to go up against those types of receivers than they are the small, quick twitch type of receivers. Yeah. And so I think that's something that'll work. I asked DA that in his press conference yesterday, and he agreed. And then I talked to Jalen about it. Jalen, KB, and Nashawn about it. in the locker room after that, and they agreed as well. What they said was the players, what Jalen and Deshaun said specifically was that it's just more surface area to get your hands on. Like we like to get up and get our hands on people, and them little dudes, it's not enough of them to get your hands on, and they quick twitch and they getting in and out. So I think stylistically they better suited to go up against those guys as great as they are. So I think the Bears defense will find a way to just steal a couple possessions, 2 or 3 possessions, and give the offense an opportunity. And I don't think the Rams offense can stop the Bears. I think the Bears hang 34 on them people. I think they're gonna win it 34-24.
Yeah, I went back and forth with my picks. I have the Bears winning, but I think you make a good point too about when it comes to. I think even Richard Sherman asked Jalen Johnson on this podcast about matching up with Devontae Adams, and Jalen had a big smile on his face. He's like, "Yo, we have our battles because, like you said, size wise, I think the reason why it's so hard for this iteration of the Bears to beat the Detroit Lions is the speed of the guys they've got in Detroit, like Amon-Ra, J-Mo. Those guys are quick. Romeo Doubs with the Packers. They're a little trickier to get, like you were saying. I think also, too, Kyron Williams. This is a big factor. I like Kyron Williams, but he can't hold on to that football. The Bears realistically probably should have at least 2 fumble recoveries last week. At least. You know what I'm saying?
What's up with Dex, bro?
Bro,
he walked in the locker room yesterday. I said, "Just the man I'm looking for." I'm like, I was gonna let you live right after the game, but bro, what did I tell you last time you did this foolishness? Because I remember what game was that when Montez got a strip sack and then Dex thought he was gonna scoop and score and take it to the crib and couldn't get the ball.
I think that was Cleveland.
Yeah, I think that was the Cleveland game.
It was definitely at home. It was definitely a home game for sure. So yeah, that makes sense. It was Cleveland or Giants or something. It was definitely a home game. And I went up to him then like, "Hey man, what did you think you was finna do?" He was like, "It was so much green grass. I thought I was gonna pick it up and score it." What? I'm like, bro, if you don't just fall your big ass on the ball, you 6'6", 330 pounds. You wasn't finna scoop and score nothing. So this time he go over there and try to follow him, but he just plops on the ball. I'm like, bro, you could have laid down and just cuddled up with the ball. Like you had all the time. What was you doing, bro? Like I give him credit. Most people his size don't even get out the stack and get out there like he be out there to the ball. Right. But bruh.
Like, and very few times do we all have like one group reaction in the press box. But when he didn't get that fumble, I feel like everybody's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I threw my phone charge up. Like, you gotta be shitting me, bro. There's no way you didn't get that, bro. Like, so that tomorrow on Sunday, they gotta stop that. Because Kyron gonna give that rock up. And he probably gonna give it up in the red zone. He didn't give it up in the red zone at least 3 times this season. At least 3 times. So they're gonna be Nashawn, all of them are gonna be trying to get that ball out. So I think that's a key. If you can take the run away, and I think for the most part, Bears did a decent job on the run last week. If they can do that, I think it's gonna make it more multidimensional. But my main key for this game is something that has nothing to do with stats and all to do with make Stafford give you one, because it's gonna come. Him and Goff. I knew even a couple weeks ago, I don't care how good Detroit is playing, Goff is going to give him one. And he did. Now, the Bears couldn't capitalize on it, but he gave him one. There's going to come an opportunity where he's going to give them one. And can they execute on that? From a defensive side, I'm really excited to see C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kyler Gordon at the same time. I know, I don't know if it was you or John, not John, but Ho, who asked him about the packages, and he said he has a package. He's working on some stuff for both of them to be out there at the same time. They only played at the same time one time. That was in Philadelphia, and that happened to be one of their best performances of the season. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work. Whatever the game plan was in the second half of that game last week, I want to see a little bit more than that, because if you're just, and you got to be careful too, because we all know how good Stafford is on the blitz. He has 29 passing touchdowns on the blitz. He can kill you. So I don't want to say they have to play a perfect game defensively, but they've got to be more tight than they've been these last couple weeks, I believe. Dante, what do you think is, the running game's job in this? Because I feel like the running game hasn't been as good the last couple weeks. Now, granted, they were down 18 last week, so they obviously have to throw the football. What do you need to see from DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, in this game?
Yeah, I mean the running game. I feel like the running game has been down the last couple of weeks, but due to circumstance, with Ozzie going out on the left side, they weren't really able to establish themselves against Detroit. And like you said, last game you were down, so you were throwing the ball more. For the run game, continue to be yourselves, like you said, hit those holes, find your spots. It's more so. I mean, they're getting just like our receivers; they're being schemed open. And you have these runs where it's like they can fall forward and get 5 yards. Like, keep that same thing going. So for me, I think it's more so it goes back into the play calling, and I think there's something that we don't talk about enough because I think unless like you all who are actually in the building, or if you're somebody who's actually really, really looking at the X's and O's, sometimes I feel like it's not so much as that the run game, can't get going. It's just some of the play calls just don't flow to me at times. I feel like Ben is still an excellent designer of an offense, but I think as you can see, he's still with his play calling. He has his moments where it's like, all right, come on, bro, what we doing? So I think that plays into it. But as far as the game this week, like I said, you need them to establish themselves because you want those DBs that we know can be beat to have to respect that run. Yeah. Once you set that up, I think that's going to open it because I think the Bears are going to score over 30 as well. But I think it's a thing where the run game is going to be a big part of them scoring that 30.
Yeah, and I'm glad Richard Sherman brought that up too, man, because I think there's too many people, and that's what I always say when it comes to a lot of games, even when playoff games that aren't the Bears. I like listening to the national, local media of the teams. Because, no disrespect to the national media, they got a lot of stuff they got to cover, so you can't tell me they sit down and watch a lot of this stuff. But I was like, have y'all seen the Los Angeles Rams defense that the Carolina Panthers feasted on last week? So there's going to be opportunity there. Now, Bane, we haven't really talked about Caleb Williams at all. What do you want to see from Caleb on Sunday in this game from the jump?
He has to start off fast. He has to hit the passes that he should hit. I think this is going to be a decent scoring game, but I do think that first half is going to be built off of time of possession. The less possessions that Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams have, the more chances that we have there. I don't see a lot of quick strikes and stuff like that. So with that being said, Caleb has to start off fast and hit those intermediate passes, and work that play action in and maybe hit one long. But I expect to see a lot of Coast and Loveland in this game. I expect to see more screens and stuff that we're used to attack the defensive backfield and those linebackers. Because as Herb said, like the front four, everybody else huff. So whatever we could do to attack and get that front four to running around and running like a chicken with their head cut off, and knowing that they don't have the linebackers or the defensive backs to handle what we have, is going to make that front four tired. You got to make them run around. You got to make them tired. So I feel like he has to hit those middles, those intermediates. Coastal Loveland has to have another star performing game, which he's been having these last couple of weeks. And as long as you could get that front four running around and getting them tired, then everything else is going to take care of itself. So as long as he does that, we're going to be okay.
Now, let's get to picks and bold predictions. Now, Herb, you say you got the Bears 34-24. Why do you have that score, and what's your bold prediction?
Yeah, I just think again, I don't think the Rams defense could stop the Bears from doing what they want to do. They got to come out and execute. Like Mike said, they got to get out early. It can't be no, slow build up. But if they get out early, and they're also able to shut down the Rams' run on defense and make them one dimensional, like you were saying, like that's going to give them more opportunities. And so I just don't think that the Rams defense could stop the Bears from doing what they want to do in terms of moving up and down the field, putting points on the board. So that's why I think they get to 34. I think the Rams are equally capable of putting up 34 on the Bears defense too. But I just think that the Bears will find a way to get that takeaway you're looking for. Matt Stafford, his supreme arm talent sometimes makes him be a little bit overconfident of where he can squeeze the football. And the Bears will take advantage of that. They take it away more than anybody. We know that. So I think they'll get an opportunity to do it. I think they will take it away, and I think that'll be the difference in the game. Just limiting the Rams on just a couple possessions. Not like they're gonna shut them down all day. That's not gonna happen. But just those couple possessions, I think that'll make the difference between, this classic kind of shootout that they had with the 49ers versus a different form of a shootout where the Rams run out of bullets before the Bears do, and the Bears, probably end up getting a late score to push it to a 2-possession game. So I think that's where it goes 34-24. Bold prediction. That's a good question, man. I don't really have one, to be honest with you.
It could be something ridiculous too. It don't even matter. It could be something wild.
Bold prediction. Damn. I don't want to just pull nothing out the air because I don't really. I just think it's gonna be a solid game. It just kind of goes as I expect it to go, and I think both offenses do well. I think the Bears do enough. What do I think would be a bold prediction for this game? Shit, fuck it. Colts and Loveland go for another $130 back to back.
I like that one.
I'm piggybacking off you, man, because I feel like he's a nightmare, a mismatch nightmare
he's so
for defenses.
good, bro.
Like Shorty, I mean, you see him all the time. Shorty's 6'6", he 250, and he out here like a receiver. Like it don't even make sense. So you scheme him up in all these different ways.
We was in the locker room availability yesterday, and I was walking by. I was like, "Damn, I ain't know those niggas that tall." Like he walk like he an NBA player. Like when I cover the Clippers, I just been around NBA players who just like tall for no reason. Like Norman Powell 6'9" for no reason. Like why Norman Powell 6'9"? Like this just random height. Like he was just tall, bro. And I'm like, "Hey, that's a big dude." Like I know it's probably hard to cover him. And when I went back and watched the 2-point conversion, they had a linebacker on him. I was like, "Oh, toast." Like before I even knew, I was like, "Food."
That was the epitome of why they said they drafted him in the first place, right?
Yeah.
We went up to the draft room, and talked to Ryan Poles, and he was like, "Why did we take Colston Loveland as the first tight end off the board?" A lot of people was talking Tyler Warren if he was gonna go tight end. He took Colston Loveland. He was like, "We just think he's more of a mismatch nightmare. We look at their speed and how they get in and out of cuts, and we just don't think you can cover him with a linebacker at all." And so, what's been impressive about Colston to me is his blocking, right? His ability to block. And obviously, he came out the Big Ten and Michigan liked to run the ball, but still, you thought he was just strictly kind of more so of a pass catching tight end. His blocking is really, really good. And what that allows for is that when they go to 13 personnel, those defenses have to respond with a larger defensive package. And so when they did that on the goal line, the 2-point conversion, the Rams went heavy, and then the Bears spread them out, and it's just a nightmare for Buddy. I just found out that the linebacker that was covering him, that was his first defensive snap of the season.
His first defensive snap of the season, bro.
Like,
when I found that out, I was like, "That's nuts."
That's insane. And his
And
first
if you look
defensive
at
snap,
the play, it looked like who's number 7 on the Packers? That's the
Quay
Walker.
Yeah, Quay. It's like before the ball snap, Quay went there with, "Oh shit, he's gonna get cooked." But like he had to go back to the spot real quick.
He was smoked. Everybody knew it was smoked. It still took a great throw just because of what the play design was thrown into that front pylon. But it was no doubt that Colston was going to win on the route. It was over with. Yeah. Buddy was cooked as soon as they spread out.
Yep, as soon as they did it, man. But Dante, what's your score and bold prediction?
Score is going to be. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go Bears 31, Rams 17. I think it's gonna be a sloppier game for the Rams. I think the cold weather is gonna be a factor, no matter how much people are trying to write it off. And I think, like you said, to your point about the national media, this is how you can tell they don't really watch these games in a lot of aspects, because you had a lot of people today sitting there saying, Matt Stafford did play in Detroit, and it's like, yeah, he did. And he wasn't.
They got a dome.
Cold, right?
Yeah, they get 8 home games in the dome. They play in Minnesota, and if you get the road game against Chicago and Green Bay early, it ain't even cracking like that yet. So
exactly. So I think it's going to be a completely different atmosphere. I think that is going to be a factor, and I think these boys are going to whoop them. I know last week my bold prediction was Kyler Gordon interception to end the game. He dropped that bitch, but
that was my bold prediction too. I was
close last week.
I knew my prediction was wrong.
Right. We
Hey,
was
that was a
close
good
last
prediction.
week.
That's dope.
We was close last week, but I think Kyler is gonna make an impactful play on this game. I think he does make a difference on this defense, and so I think this game. He's gonna actually get that interception because I think we all agree at some point Matt is gonna give you the ball. I don't think Matt's gonna have a terrible game. I think, like I said, when I say sloppy, I think it's gonna be more so drop passes, things of that nature that's gonna lead to the downfall of the Rams. But I think Matt is gonna give up an interception. I think Kyler Gordon's gonna be the one to get it.
Now here, I will say this on the code real quick before I forget. I will say this on the code. As somebody who lived in Los Angeles, I don't care if you've been there for a year, your body gets readjusted. It took me, I want to say till 2 months ago, to get used back to Chicago code. And I'm from here, okay? I for 10 years, anything colder than 72 degrees, I bitch out. So and Matthew
That man
Stafford
said 72, not 50.
72, bro.
72.
And anybody knows in LA, 50 degrees is the coldest place on planet Earth. So, and Matthew Stafford has been out there for what, 4 years now? I know his body is you bitch out a little bit. So then you got that aspect to deal with as well. But go ahead, bro. What you gonna say?
Nah, while Tay was talking, my bold prediction popped into my head, and I hate this. I don't ever really want to see this for nobody, but I don't think Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams finish the game. One of them is not going to finish the game.
I was just about to say that. I was just about
That
to
was
say
mine. That was one of mine. That was one of my bold predictions, fam. Like
One of them not going to finish the game, and I don't say that lately. I don't. Even the other team, I don't like to see people get hurt. Like I respect the game too much, but I just don't see. I think one of them, either that hand or that hamstring, gonna go in the cold. Like.
Yeah, it's gonna be brutal from that aspect. But Bang, what's your pick and what's your bold if you have another bold prediction?
So I got the Bears 21, the Rams 23. Herb took one of my bold predictions.
My bad.
One of those two wasn't gonna make it because hamstrings in the cold. And back issues in the cold. Like Matt Stafford has back issues. I don't care if you're wearing a scuba. If you're wearing a flak jacket. I think this is going. While this might be a high-scoring game for weather standards, I think this is going to be a punishing game. I think both teams are going to be out to hit and hit hard. So I'm not trusting Matt Stafford nor Devontae Adams to finish the game because of health reasons. Not necessarily somebody putting them out. I just think the war of attrition will happen in this game. But my other bold prediction will be DeMarco was my man. Jack 48 was
Marco Jackson. Yeah.
DeMarco Jackson. When he played in that and when he got on the field, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
He ain't been able to do that with TJ Edwards playing. It's a little bit more athleticism and more healthy because TJ Edwards was not necessarily 100% while he was playing. I expect him to have a monster game. Out of everybody on that defense, he's the person that I'm looking at that I'm like, yo, you put him back on that field, he's going to be everywhere, and you're going to need him because the Rams do utilize that middle of the field a lot. They do utilize their tight ends and stuff too. So you're going to really need somebody like him and Tremaine Edwards to really hold down the middle. But I feel like he's going to have a monster game that's going to help them propel them to a victory. So 31-23 Bears, and Jackson is going to be all over the place.
Okay, you scared me because you twisted that up in your intro. You said 21-23.
I mean,
31-23,
excuse me.
Yeah, you definitely said that.
23, my bad.
Yeah.
31-23 Bears over the Rams.
Well, since my score is too close to Bang's score, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. And this is the third time I've switched the score this week. So on 79th and Hallis, I said 28-24 Bears. And then on yesterday at Hallis Hall, when I did my YouTube video, I said 31-24. I'm gonna say 31-21. That's what I'm gonna stick at that 31-21. And it goes to my bold prediction. I think that we're gonna get as close to a complete game from the Bears this year. I've been watching the Rams. I watched a lot of Rams, and they have just not been impressive over these last 7 weeks. 4-3 over the last weeks. They've coughed up multiple leads this season. I don't want to say they should have lost last week because you can say the Bears should have lost last week. So I'm not going to use that in my defense. But the Carolina defensive coordinator needed his ass whooped for that last drive. If you're watching that game, it was just ridiculous. Okay, like they was like, hey, please take the game from us. Now, the Bears are capable of that too, but not in the red zone. The Bears are pretty good in the red zone. I'm not as worried about as many chunk plays. Now, they still going to get them because you got Puka Nacua, and I think he's going to bust one, real quick one on them. But I do think that this is not going to be a situation we saw with Detroit and we saw with Green Bay where it's 30 here, 40 here. They're always getting the sides for a quick first down. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think you're going to see the defense play the best they've played in a long time. I think something clicked last Saturday in the second half. I don't know if it was just the players and also DA with the way that they game plan a little bit. And it kind of goes what you said, Bang, like as great as TJ Edwards is, and I love TJ, what he brings to the team. I have a soft spot for the players who joined the team when we were trash, okay? So I love TJ Edwards. But DeMarco, like you said, DeMarco got some anger in him. And I like my linebackers and defensive linemen with some anger in them. And I feel like he's going to make a play. So I'm going to say 31-21. And my bold prediction, the Bears get 4 takeaways. 4 takeaways. Matthew Stafford is going to throw 3 interceptions. That is my big takeaway there. I think we're going to get classic Stafford. Now, I do believe he's going to throw 3 touchdowns and go them 3 interceptions. Be very clear about that. I think he's going to give them all 21 points.
You're going to go full Brett Favre.
Yeah, he's going to go full Favre. But I think he's going to get 3 picks, and the other one is going to come from a fumble, but not Kyron Williams. My favorite op himself, Devontae Adams, is going to get a fumble. Somebody gonna punch it out. I'm gonna say we haven't had a government mandated Nashawn Wright turnover in a while. And I ain't banking on that on Sunday. So that's how I'm gonna go with that. Herb, before we get you out of here, I definitely want to get your take on the stadium stuff. There's been a lot of stuff that's been coming out over the last day about that. Now, Bang, can you break it down in layman's terms for people who don't really understand? I know you were breaking it down in the group chat. And in so many words, what has happened over the last 24 hours?
Basically, Indiana has created a Northwest Indiana Commission, and they've basically told the Bears, hey, we'll build this, and we'll give you this joint on layaway, but we'll build all of this for you, and we'll handle the infrastructure. All you got to do is slide over to Hammond or Gary. Don't even worry about it because they ain't even rocking with you. Pritzker has been balking on the infrastructure stuff. The Bears have said that they were going to pay for the stadium. We just need help with the infrastructure. J.B. Pritzker was like, we could talk about it, but we got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about before we get to that. Indiana was like, oh, they waiting too late. All right, here go the skirt. Let's go ahead and slide that over to the slide. So to the slide, what you want to do? Bears looking at it like, hey, man, this look like it's good. But they looking at the main chick and see what the main chick gonna do. And the main chick gotta answer some questions. Do they really want to go ahead and stay tied with this or not? That's in layman's terms right there. Indiana is willing to let it go ahead and pull it to the side. All they just saying is, we going to put it on layaway. Illinois like, man, we still got to talk about this stuff real quick. What we doing here? And for those who might not know, that's literally the same thing that they did with Lucas Oil Stadium. They made a commission. They said, we'll pay for this. Put it on layaway, basically, and you can eventually own it. So it's really the same play. But the Bears got to decide at this point is, are we going to be sitting at that 1994 right there and had to pay that toll, or we going to Arlington Heights?
Yeah. Herb, what's your thoughts on the whole stadium situation as a whole?
Yeah, my take on it hasn't really changed much since the beginning of it. The McCaskies are not a real estate company. That's not what their business is. Their only business is football. They didn't spend $200 million on a piece of land to do anything other than build a football stadium. The problem is, like the Bears have done throughout the majority of their existence, is they do everything ass backwards. So whether they hire, head coaches and then hire GMs, or whether like they do everything so backwards, And that's what they did again this time. Y'all went and put the bread down on the land before y'all had any agreements in place for taxes, for codes, even for the infrastructure around how you gonna adjust the roads coming in and out, the train and all. You didn't have none of that in place before you came out your pocket with 200 M's. And once you do that, you have no leverage in the negotiations. They drop the bread, then they go hire Kevin Warren, like, hey, come close this deal. He like, all right, cool, that sounds sweet. We did it in Minnesota. I've been the Big Ten commissioner. Cool. He didn't understand how incompetent
Politics
the
out here.
how, that too, and how incompetent the McCaskies can be at times with some of these decisions. And so he get there like, oh, y'all ain't got none of this in place, and I'm supposed to close the deal. How? And so for 2 years, he's gone around pretty much on the dog and pony show trying to garner up some leverage in these negotiations. We'll put it here, we'll put it there. We're gonna stand on lakefront. I was there at Soldier Field the day they did that whole whatever that thing was at Soldier Field. They had reverends
I
in there
don't.
praying and
Oh yeah.
like that. It was
Hey,
absolute fool.
I don't know if you watched Succession, but that was when Kendall Roy did the Living Plus announcement. Bang, that's what that was. That's exactly that was the Living Plus announcement from Succession.
Pure foolishness. So my first mind is still telling me that they're gonna end up in Arlington Heights, because that's where they dropped the bread at. Now, if Indiana now come in to Bang Point, it's like if they come in and offer you a deal you can't refuse, now that could be sweet. Like that could be, hey, look, Shorty talking about everything. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had that ever happen to me before. I'm trying to see what that be like.
Man.
Like, so if they come in like that, then the Bears might actually have to listen to it. You know what I mean? And if I think that what we saw with what Missouri just did with the Chiefs, like they
Yeah.
messed it up. Like they
They
made
fumbled that, bro.
they made it such a sweet deal. Now everybody like,
Yeah,
I want the sweet deal too. Like, what's up?
yeah.
So I think that could be the key leverage that the Bears need. You got the chick right next door, standing on the porch, butt naked, like, come over.
But naked.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
And she cooked.
that might change the attitude in the house a little bit. So I mean, that might be the leverage that finally that Kevin Warren needed to get some momentum in these negotiations. But if I had to bet on it, I would still say Arlington Heights is the spot.
She going, and they got chicken Alfredo over
And
there.
they got
Come
chicken
on,
Alfredo
man.
over with the
Come on,
Texas
man.
toast, G.
You know what I'm saying? A little broccoli cut up in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wifey told you fix your own Texas toast, nigga. Like, he's like, she got it for me right here. Like that's now Dante, you live in a city that has one of my favorite stadiums, Mercedes Benz. I still ain't got over them red velvet cookies they had a couple years ago when we was there. It was amazing.
The club in the basement, Joe.
Oh yeah.
They had Chick-fil-A open for the media on a Sunday, bro. I ain't never seen that. So what's your take on this, Dante, as we wrap this Bears portion up?
I mean, I think they still they stay in Illinois. I think, like we talked about in the chat, I think it's political suicide for Pritzker and Mayor Johnson if you let the Bears leave. So the deal in Indiana is sweet, but I think it's a situation where you end up just being forced to match that deal. And one thing that should give the city a little more reassurance with this is that you've seen Kevin Warren do this with Minnesota, and they ended up paying it back early. So he has a history with this, so you've seen it happen. But I mean, I think here the difference was both teams asked for a stadium at the same time, and it was a situation where, unlike Chicago, where the White Sox are more so an afterthought, they had to do something. And so they ended up going.
The Chicago Fire got their stadium.
Yeah, but no, like for
they
example,
own not a broke boy though. That's why
exactly. The Falcons struck first with the city, and so that's what forced the Braves over to Cobb County. So I mean, I think it's a situation where the Braves they're not going to lose the Bears. They will not allow the Bears. I know we talked about the Hammond site is closer than Arlington and all that. I hear you. They are not letting that team lead the state.
Look, the only. Man, Dante, the only thing I'll say to that, because I remember being in St. Louis
when the Rams
when the Rams thing happened. And like I remember not the owner, but the president of the Rams basically saying, like, yo, we tried everything we can. And those folks wasn't going. Stan Kroenke already knew what he wanted to do when he got there. I'm not gonna say this has anything to do really to Pritzker. It's where Roger Goodell wanted to go.
And
Like,
Goodell was at the
and he
Indiana
was at
site
the
last week.
And when I saw
When I
that they
saw
said
that
he
pic,
toured, when I saw that they said he toured before the game, that was the first I thought about St. Louis all over again. Like, uh-oh.
Let me ask you this.
I think Northwest Indiana is more at play than we think when we look at Kansas City, when we look at the fact that the San Francisco 49ers is in Santa Clara, when we look at where the Giants is.
the
I
Giants
think
are an hour and a half
wait a minute.
away from New
Wait a
York.
minute, Dante, wait a minute. Because I think what Herb said is very important to think about. The Bears is not a real estate organization; they're a football organization. I think the NFL is looking at this not just as a football organization. I also believe that they're thinking about this as a real estate organization. And if you could go put a team in a city that you could really just own it,
Yeah.
that right, they will own Hammond and Gary. I do think they're going to end up in Arlington too. But I think that Northwest Indiana is more than smoke because it gives not only the Bears, but the NFL a lot of leeway. Because one of the main reasons why they up in LA is not just because that's what Stan Kroenke wanted them. That's what
That's
NFL
what NFL
wanted.
Network. That's
what
what
the
NFL
network
Network
and
offices is at. Yeah.
And if they can make this NFL Midwest like they've wanted to do for years, where you gonna put it? You're gonna put it where you have the most access to really just take over.
I want you to look at me with a straight face and say that the National Football League is going to host a Super Bowl in Gary, Indiana. No, they're fucking. No,
brother,
they're not. They are
They
not.
hosted a Super Bowl in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Right, they had they had a brand new stadium.
They are.
It's not happening, bro. And I agree with you when you say
they did it in Inglewood. They do it.
No. They did it in brand new, amazing stadiums, but they was like they still in the city. G.
Hold on. I got a counter for that. I got a counter for that. Now you can't if you go 2 blocks down from where SoFi is. Right on Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
You still gonna see, hey, Blood, where you at, Blood? You still gonna get a whole bunch of elbows up. But Gary,
stop it.
Gary, Indiana is going to be cleaned up.
Gary is 12. Gary, Indiana is 12 abandoned buildings and 2 former power plants. Like, what are you talking about? Are you right? Roger, you're gonna own the city because there's nothing there.
And like, Roger Goodell gonna be driving around that joint like Mr. Wesley in Roadhouse.
Well, they're gonna be in Arlington Heights, and like the real dream. Me and Bang, we always joke about this, bro. Just take the Michael Reese site, bro. If the city is pushing you to Michael Reese, bro,
they're not gonna be in the city. That's dead.
You get the whole little lakefront. You still got the lake. G, come on.
See, we on the same page as far as that goes.
If that's what the city really push that money, because they talking about the infrastructure, like that gives the city an excuse to give you the money because it's like, okay, the infrastructure and everything is gonna help this entire neighborhood that we want to build up anyway. So
I'll just bring it home like that stadium could be on the moon. I do not care. Just keep winning. Number one, it's not at the earliest they get is 2030, 2031, where they actually get to at the earliest. So by that point, it's whatever. I know people talking about, we can't afford it. You can't afford it. It takes $400 to look at the Walter Payton statue. Okay, it ain't like people can afford it right now. So that don't really matter. So I know as Chicagoans, we like everything in Chicago, but that's just not the new era of the NFL. When we did the Jets game a couple years ago, it took me 2 hours to get back to Queens, New York from the Meadowlands. And ask New Yorkers, they don't like Jersey. They talk about Jersey they talk about Jersey like we talk about Gary every 2 minutes. Oh, you live in Jersey? Like, trust me. So it's the same deal, man. But Herb,
it don't matter, man. Every time I talk to people about it, and they be like, "Oh, I can't believe they're gonna be in Indiana or even Arlington. I can't believe it. Nobody gonna go. Everybody's gonna go.
Everybody's
gonna go. It's not like they're gonna be the GI Bears. It's not like they're gonna be the Arlington. It's like,
oh, you gonna go with Beyonce's final tour is at the Arlington spot. You gonna be there.
It's going wherever they put it at. That's what people go. That's where it's gonna sell out at. It ain't like people be up in arms for a little while, and then everybody be at the games, and it's gonna be what it is.
And they're gonna change that pride and joy part to the pride and joy of Chicago land, Chicago Bears. I've already planned it out.
Oh man, Herb, man, I know you got your show, the Herb Howard Show. You had some heavy hitters on there the last couple weeks. Had Lance Briggs on there, had friend of the program, Scoop Jackson. You got a whole lot of people on there, man. Just tell us how it's been doing your own show and where they can check it out at.
Nah, man, it's been really, really cool, man. Shout out to the whole team that pulled it together. It certainly ain't just me. I got the easiest part on it, man. They thought it was a good idea to name it the Herb Howard Show, but um, for me, man, it's just a pleasure to be able to sit up and talk football, and work with people that I love and care about and enjoy working with. Um, I've been able to establish some pretty cool relationships with people in the industry that's willing to come through and chop it up. And so, shout out to everybody that's come through, man. It's getting better and better each episode. We kind of try to improve and tweak the quality, improve the quality of the product that we putting out, from the production to the way it looks, the sound, the studio, the rundown, like everything we do. We just try to get a little bit better at it every day. It's just getting started, but man, I'm really really excited about where it's going and what we've done, man. So I appreciate you shouting that out, man. Anybody that want to get in tune with it, just go to the Biggs Media YouTube page. It's the Herb Howard Show. We do it live on Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. For the most part. So, man, I appreciate that, man. Stay in tune. Stay in tune. We got a lot more coming. Then we're gonna keep it rocking. Even in the off season, we might not do it twice a week, but we'll probably do it once a week still through the off season.
Yeah, I gotta pull up on y'all, man. I gotta
Most
come
def.
see the new gigs, man. I love the rebranding too, because I'm finna change the name of this show to the Scott Lewis Show featuring Dante and Bane. So they ain't come to see you, Otis.
Hey, Herb, I told Gene to go ahead and give me that go ahead and give me that Instagram. I mean, not the Instagram. Give me that internet password because we right upstairs. So just go
Man,
ahead and just give me.
man,
As you see, I got to leave.
I
This
didn't know
dude,
that.
'cause now I'm one of the Temptations. He David Ruffin. So now
Hey, anytime if you want to come over here, don't worry about the producer being all in the video.
Dancing.
Nah, that's what's up. Nah, that's what's up. I know you was upstairs. We all in there, man. My other podcast ain't got nothing to do with sports. My Urban 2 podcast is in the building too. It's just down the hall from the big studio. So, man, we rocking, bro.
Definitely, bro. I'm gonna holler at you on Sunday, G.
Most definitely appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. That is the one and only Herb Howard from the Biggs Media. We are going to take these last 15, 20 minutes. There's actually other games this week. Contrary to what's going on in Chicago, there's other football this week. So we want to just talk about these three other games, man. I want to talk about the game that's going to start off this divisional weekend. That is the Buffalo Bills. Fresh off of sending Trev home and heading to Denver and take on the Denver Broncos. Number one seeded Denver Broncos, who I did not know have not won a playoff game since they won Super Bowl 50 10 years ago. Interesting. Did not know that. They have not won a playoff game since then. I heard that on Rich Eisen was born.
Wait a
Google
minute.
it.
Oh yeah.
They have not won a playoff game.
Because the Tebow game was before that.
Was before that. Yeah, the Tebow game was 3 years before that. Yeah. That was before Peyton became a Bronco.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have not won a playoff game since Super Bowl 50. So you got that. I look at this matchup as this, bro. Anything that's got anything to do with the Bills, I'm picking the Bills. And I've said for weeks, ain't got nothing to do with football. Ain't got nothing to do with football. I'm riding till the wheels fall off with my boy Joshua Allen. Because if it ain't this year, it ain't never gonna be. So I'm just going off where he's gonna have to find a way. I love how they played last week against a real a defense in Jacksonville that's been playing real good over these last couple of weeks. An offense that was coming together. I felt like they played a complete game. And Denver has been a weird team. You know, a lot of people talk about how the Patriots ain't played nobody, or how the Bears ain't played nobody, or the Bears and the Patriots can't keep winning games the way they win the games. We need to be talking about Denver. Denver has won 10 of their last 11. Coming down to the wire, comeback W's. They've got a great defense, but I still have question marks about Bo Nix. And I feel like this is going to be a very close game. One thing I love about Josh Allen is that if he does turn the ball over, that doesn't stop him from continuing to throw it, and he's going to stay in this game. I think it's going to come down to the final possession with the ball in Josh Allen's hand, and he's going to do what the MVP does. And I do believe that Bo Nix is going He gonna get a Bills one. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Bills in this one to advance to the AFC Championship game. Bang, how you got this one going out?
Man, I've been waffling back and forth on this game because everybody hurt on Buffalo. Like
Yeah,
Josh Allen
yeah.
dealing with a whole bunch of injuries. They got 2 wide receivers out with ACL tears like last week, and stuff. Like everybody beat up. But do I trust Bo Nix or do I trust Josh Allen? I trust Josh Allen. I just don't know when it comes to that defense, but I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills 21-17.
Dante, who you got?
Denver Broncos 17-14. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. I think all the injuries are my biggest issue. I think even though I've been hard on Josh Allen in the past, I don't think it's over if he don't win it this year. I think it would definitely help with all of the injuries and everything just being so wide open. But I think more than anything, I think like that Denver Bronco defense is gonna be on point, and it's gonna be tough for them to get points. So I'm gonna go with Denver. I think Bo Nix does just enough to get it done, and they move on to the AFC Championship.
Let's move on to the game that outside of our game is the one I've got the most eyes on. Seahawks Niners. First of all, this is what I like to call a millennial rivalry because this was not a rivalry prior to the LOB Harbaugh days. This is a millennial rivalry.
I grew up when the Seattle Seahawks was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up where Kurt Warner was a running back, and it was with a C and not a K. I grew up with Cortez Kennedy, Rick Meyer, Dan McGuire. Like Steve Largent had the one joint. Like, I remember those days. Seattle good now is always
it's weird.
Like Seattle and the Phoenix Cardinals used to always suck. Like that used to be the same group.
The Phoenix Cardinals, that's hilarious. Right. The Phoenix Cardinals. That's how the weird they've been. I think with this, man, the reason I call it a millennial rivalry is because those battles that LOB would have with them Harbaugh, San Francisco 49ers teams. Who can forget the infamous pipe bomb by Richard Sherman? You pipe me up with sorry receiver like Crabtree. That Compton came out of him. In fact, I didn't start saying sorry until I lived in California. That was never in my repertoire until I moved to California. Now it's just one of the greatest ways to describe somebody. Like you sorry, man. You sorry. So like that you have that era, the Crabtree. You got all those wars they had. So this is a different version of it, man. So you got the Seahawks, who are the number 1 seed. They got a really good defense, a great offensive line, solid running game, and Sam Darnold's been really good. Question here now is the quarterback, Sam Darnold. Not just for obvious on the field reasons, can he get it done? But he has an injury now. Their backup quarterback, and Drew Lock is their backup quarterback. He took a snap in practice yesterday. He has an oblique injury. Now, how he got this oblique injury when they had a bye, I have no idea. Now, he says he's playing, which I expected he was. The playoffs, you're going to play. But how effective is he going to be is a question mark. Now, the Niners, I think that this has been Kyle Shanahan's best coaching job, considering all of the injuries they've had. They've had Magabosa has been gone. Fred Warner's been gone. George Kittle just tore his Achilles, so he's going to be out all of next year too. And they're still in this position. They had a chance to be the number 1 seed, and they're still here. I want the Niners to win mainly because I'm selfish, and if the Bears win on Sunday, that means the NFC Championship game will be in Chicago. That's the main reason I'm going to win. But I personally just don't want to see Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. Not that Brock Purdy's much better, but at least the Niners are a legacy brand. You know what I'm saying? If the Bears aren't going to be in it, I'm looking at my entertainment value. Okay, that's when it comes to the Super Bowl. If the Bears aren't going to be in it, I want what game am I going to enjoy the most while drinking tequila for 6 hours? That's what I want to look at. So I don't want the Seahawks in there. I think if the Seahawks, start this game pretty, in the way that they should defensively, I think it'll probably be quick. I want the Niners to win, but I think Seattle's going to win. This is a division game, 3rd time they played this season, 2nd time in like 3 weeks. So it's going to be a little weird. He said, damn, you are looking past the Rams. I don't know if you missed the last hour and 20 of this show, but neither one Nobody on this show has been looking past the Rams. But I was
We're
saying
very focused on the Rams.
we're very focused on the Rams. And the word I just said was if the Bears beat the Rams, I would like to host the NFC Championship game at home. I'm not one of those fans who think that the Bears are gonna. No, I'm not delusional, but I just don't think the Niners have enough defensively, and I think that's the issue. We talk about home field advantages. Obviously, Soldier Field is a great home field advantage. Lumen Field, or as what was the old name of it?
Shit. It was
Not Globe Life, Century Link, not
it was
Century Link or something. It was something
no,
else. I forgot the name, but they got
something a
some
lot
great.
cooler.
Yeah, it's something much better. They got a lot of great atmospheres in Seattle sports. You know, the Mariners, they have one of the best playoff crowds, and I think it's gonna be absolutely loud out there, bro. So I'm gonna go Seattle Seahawks 30-27. I do believe this is a very close game, but I just see the Seahawks pulling this one out. Bang, how you got this one going?
I got this 28-17 Seattle. I predicted on the show earlier this year that Kyle Shanahan was not going to be with the 49ers after this year, and he was going to go take Mac Jones, and he was going to be the next coach of the Cleveland Browns. But the coaching performance that this man has did this year has made me go ahead and get away from that, because if it was anybody sans record or anything that I feel like deserved Coach of the Year, damn it, it's Kyle Shanahan. This was with everybody that's been hurt on that team and all of that stuff, man. He's been on it this year, but the ride ends because you're eventually gonna succumb to all of those injuries, and it's on both sides of the ball as well. So yeah, unfortunately, if the Bears win, we will be going to Seattle because the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold will win this game.
Dante, what's your thoughts?
First of all, we got to make sure Sam Darnold going to even play. That's key here. You know, the oblique.
That's the
They were
caveat.
talking about that.
Yeah. He said he was, but like you said, we won't know until he gets out there.
I went with the 49ers. I don't know why. I know I shouldn't go with the 49ers. I know that defense in Seattle is A1. They are legit. But nah,
The Niners defense is like ours.
Yeah, they're gonna give up some points, but
Yeah.
I think they'll do enough offensively to win that game. So I'm gonna go with the Niners to win, bro.
I will say this ahead of time. If the Seattle Seahawks win, and if the Bears happen to beat the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game in Seattle, I will definitely be picking Seattle. But if the Bears went to Seattle and won the NFC Championship game, I just believe this is their year. If that happened, then I'm like, number 2 is coming home. If that happened, because that's just a very tough place to play. But final game of the weekend. Well, not final game of the weekend, but final game we're going to review. The Bears and the Rams the last game of the weekend. We already gave our picks to that. Patriots Texans. This is an interesting game to me. And the reason I say that is the Patriots didn't really impress me last weekend. As bad as the Chargers were, and the Chargers were god awful. And I think we have gone past the need for hardball coaches in the NFL. That was just a brutal watch. I thought the Patriots defense was decent. I think that Drake May just made one big play at the end that he needed to make, and fair play to him. That's what you need. But this Texans defense scares me. Okay, like this Texans defense don't even allow you to check down. Like that. That's how foolish this D line is. That secondary is. I don't have them winning because CJ Stroud is a bozo. But this defense, we taught people not finishing the game. I hope everybody stay healthy. Like I said, I don't wish for injuries or anything, but it would not surprise me if Drake May do not stay in this game. They headhunting, bro. They headhunting. They know they're going to score on defense to probably win this game, and I think it's going to be a very ugly game. That I think that the Patriots will win, but this is going to be like a 20-17 type deal for me. This is going to be one of them midweek AFC South type scores because that defense is just too good. And if the Texans offense was just just respectable. And that offensive line was able to just keep CJ upright, I would have them winning. But I think Patriots are barely going to get out of here with a win. But this is going to be some hard-hitting football. Bang, what you got going in this final game?
See, I want to go with the Patriots here, but that defense is just scary.
It's foolish.
It's scary. So I'm going to call this a low-scoring game. I'm going to call this one 17-13 to Houston Texans.
Dante, how you got this one?
I'm going with the defense, man. I'm going with the Houston Texans as well. I think the Patriots story has been really good, but at the end of the day, their division is really bad, bro. So, like, they haven't played too many good teams. So I think, I'm going to go Texans 21, Patriots 13.
All right, man. We're going to see how all this goes. And then next week will be Championship Sunday, which I hope the Bears are in for the first time in 15 years. But we will see, man. That is all we've got for y'all. Shout out to everybody who watched. Shout out our guy, Herb Howard. Check in everything Herb is doing. And I also want to give a big shout out to friend of the program who I just talked to today. We got to give a shout out to our guy, Kaz. Our guy, Kaz, man, he has been named the co-host of the Mero in the Mornings morning show out there in New York City. He'll be joining Mero each and every Tuesday. So big shouts to Kaz. And even though I've only met Mero once, I've been a fan of his for like 11 years. I gotta give a shout out to Mero, man. Big look to Mero as well. I think both of them are gonna kill it. So definitely want to give some love to friend of the program. Our guy,
they just
Kaz.
now need a strong female. They need a strong female.
And there's a lot of them in New York City. But I think that's gonna be dope for them. So shout out to both of them on that. That's a big deal. But anything you guys want to shout out before we get up out of here? Any moves this weekend?
Nah, man, I'm excited about this weekend. There's a lot of good football coming up on Saturday, Sunday, and then the national championship game.
Oh yeah, I'm just hoping these flights open so I can actually come to the game.
To the game. Hey man, shout out to everybody who's been to Soldier Field. I gotta say, I'll know on Saturday whether or not this will be my last game or not. Because if Seattle wins, this is my last game this year, regardless. Because I'm already going to San Francisco for the Super Bowl, so I'm not rich, so I can't go to two places in 3 weeks. So I will not be able to afford to go to Seattle. So if Seattle wins on Saturday, I'm done for the season, no matter what happens on Sunday. So I just want to say in advance, shout out to everybody who has supported everything we've done here this Chicago Bears season. 79th and Hallis, I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you for 5 years. This is the first time we've had the Bears in the playoffs in these 5 years we've been doing this show. It's the third time the Bears made the playoffs in the existence of 79th and Hallis, but the first time they actually won a game. And y'all been messing with all the content. I've been running to some of y'all at the game. Shout out to everybody for all the love. We appreciate it. So no matter what happens this Sunday, this was a fun season that I enjoyed covering. And shout out to everybody, man. And on Sunday, we will have your recap for the game. And we will be doing 79th and Hallis next Tuesday. On Monday, I will be doing a weekend recap for the Patreon subscribers. You can subscribe in the description box right now if you want to check that out. So hopefully we're talking about the NFC Championship game next week. But that's all we got. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow Dante at October Zone Tay. Follow me at Barberchair Scott. All of the handles are in the description box. The Patreon link. And, of course, my new YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Trying to get that up to 500 subscribers. We're about 460 right now. So we moving. Let's get those numbers up. And I'm going to be having a lot of content on there even after the Bears season ends. So that's all we got. We're going to holler at y'all. Enjoy y'all weekend. And I'll holler at y'all on Monday for the weekend recap. We about here.